We have a very, very special guest speaker, Viviann Ceseña. And we're gonna formally introduce Ms. Ceseña with her bio. So Ms. Ceseña is an Imperial Valley native. She graduated from Imperial Valley College and transferred to SDSU Imperial Valley in 2014. Here, she obtained her bachelor's degree in Spanish and psychology in 2017 and her master's degree in social work in 2020. Viviann is currently an academic advisor and also serves as a lead for the SDSU Imperial Valley Guardian Scholar Program. The SDSU Imperial Valley Guardian Scholar Program is a holistic support program committed to serving students who identify as current or former foster youth, who are ward of the court under legal guardianship or unaccompanied homeless youth by supporting their transition through and beyond SDSU. So we want to give a warm welcome to Ms. Ceseña.
Hi, everyone. So hi to those who are my students and to those who aren't as well. So as you heard right now, my name is Viviann Ceseña. I'm an academic advisor here. I advise psychology major, social work minor, and I am transitioning out of advising freshmen and sophomores. But I'm also involved in the Guardian Scholars Program. So have any of you heard of this program before? If you want to raise your hand if you have. It's totally okay if you haven't because it's a new program. Okay, so like you heard right now, Guardian Scholars Program is a holistic support program committed to serving students who identify as current and former foster youth, ward to the court, under legal guardianship, or unaccompanied homeless youth. And we support them by helping them through their transition to, through, and beyond SDSU. So I don't know if any of you are IVC transfer students, and I don't know if at IVC you've heard of the program Resilient Scholars. This is a similar program, and it's not limited to SDSU. It is a program that is offered at most or many state universities. And it's a program, like I just mentioned, that's specifically to help support foster youth. And the program, also to mention, it is under the EOPOS program. So those students who, when the way that they apply for Guardian Scholars is when they're applying to transfer to SDSU, Imperial Valley, or to any other university, and as they're filling out their EOP application, there's certain questions that are connected specifically to this population. So they're identified as eligible candidates for Guardian Scholars, and then they're contacted by either us or in San Diego, there's the Guardian Scholars program there. So then they do outreach, and we let them know about the program and see if they're interested and would like to participate. So what are the benefits of participating? So for Guardian Scholars, they have access to specific scholarships. There is priority registration, wellness coaching. So as you know, we do have counseling and psychological services on campus. So one of our counselors at IUDS, she's part of our team. We have like I was saying, a Guardian Scholars team that's composed of SDSU Imperial Valley staff. So I'll let you know right now who's part of the team, but we offer guidance and connection to on-campus and local resources, so not just limited to campus resources. We have monthly meetings, and we try to have a focus for each meeting. So a couple of our meetings recently our March meeting was what's next, and it was talking about master's programs, graduate programs. If you're like me or many of our Guardian Scholars, we're first generation. So a lot of that is new to us. So we thought it was, important. We did, give out a survey to students and ask them like, what are some of the things you're interested in our monthly meetings? Since this is for them, we wanted to hear from them what they were interested in or what they wanted more information on. And one of those was, graduate programs and grad school careers. So we did that 2 series meeting where one of them was what's next. let's talk about grad school. And then the next meeting was what's next, let's talk about careers. Something else, we have care packages. So since this program, our Imperial Valley program is connected to the program directly from the San Diego campus, they do provide care packages. So this semester, one of those was an Amazon gift card, and it was of about $300. So it's a very nice care package that is very neat, especially towards the middle of the semester. And it depends, there's different donors who give either sponsored or donate things for the program. So depending on that, the care packages do vary. But there's also two very beautiful and meaningful events that are hosted at the Mesa campus. One of them is the Guardian Scholars Thanksgiving dinner and the Guardian Scholars graduation dinner. So like, I mentioned before, this is a program that's specifically for current or former foster youth. So as you may have learned in class, there are very unique challenges that they faced, throughout either their childhood or adulthood. So the fact that, they have made it to university, they've already defeated a lot of odds against them. And, statistically speaking, the number of former foster youth or, any of the population that Guardian Scholar serves, the statistics of them making it to university is very low. So we really want to highlight that, support them as much as we can, and also celebrate them. And that's what those events are for. And it's honestly so inspiring, so beautiful. And the program here, just to backtrack a little bit, this is the first year that we had a Guardian Scholars program. We didn't have it prior to last fall, 2023. I'm like, what year are we in? Yes. So fall 2023 was our very first cohort. So, before that, as I was trying to get information, trying to see, what Guardian Scholars was and, how we can bring that here, I did attend those events, and it was just amazing to be able to go back a year later and go back with our very first cohort of students. So, just being able to, take them over to San Diego campus, take them to the event, and, hearing those beautiful and amazing stories, like you saw earlier for Guardian Scholars, one of the themes is, that Guardian Scholars are heroic, resilient, and inspirational. So they really highlight that during those events, and it's inspiring for everyone. And it's just great for students who are, barely coming in, barely transferring, and then seeing, those students graduating, or, just everyone gathered there. They're really beautiful events, and that's we're really thankful that, we have that partnership with San Diego campus, and we can, also participate in those events. And maybe one day when our program is large enough, we can have our own events. So we still love to participate, but, it's always nice to think of, how this program could potentially grow. So here are the 8 pillars of Guardian Scholar Service. I won't go into all of that, but just so you know, the 8 pillars are persistence to graduation, housing stability, identity development, financial competence, healthy relationships, physical and emotional wellness, life skills development, and employment readiness. So this program is based on those pillars. And whenever we plan events, whenever we think of an activity that we're going to do, we try to incorporate these pillars. Like, how are we applying this with the program, and how are we ensuring that we're providing these services to the students? And something cool is that, housing stability. These pillars are based on, San Diego campus services. So when we saw that, it's like, okay, well, our campus is different, so we're going to have to find a different way to address that pillar, or address that service. And we did find, okay, so through ECRT, through, this other program, through, housing authorities, try to see what we could do. But now that the campus is growing and there's new things coming, I don't know if some of you are aware, but we're gonna have dorms on campus now. So it's exciting to see how, we're gonna be able to work with that as well. And, in case it's needed, how we can now offer that support here on campus. Yes, any questions so far? No, okay. I'll keep going. And part of the team, my boss and Dr. Falcon's former boss, Dr. Henry Villegas, he is the Dean of Students. You might have gotten emails from him. Myself, Melissa Gastelum, she's also our academic advisor. She advises for criminal justice and public administration. We also have Adayo Diaz from Counseling and Psychological Services and Germán de la Peña from Career and Veteran Services. We also have 2 graduate students who have been supporting us. One of them being Cindy Perez. She is part of the Master's in Education with an emphasis in counseling program. She's also our front desk receptionist. So if you call to try to make appointments or if you have questions that went to the front desk, that's Cindy. And you might have also gotten calls from Kayla because she is our graduate student assistant as well. And she is currently in the Master of Social Work program. So those are our 2 graduate students who have been very helpful. It takes a village. So just to kind of explain a little bit of the backstory of how we got Guardian Scholars here, it started with a question, really, and collaboration. I come from a social work background. I did study here. I'm an alumni, double alumni, and I also want to put out there that I am not a former foster youth. I'm really, we had to say, like an outsider in that sense. And something we learn in social work is cultural humility. So I know that's something that, you've probably learned here in class. And, I always wanted to, I had questions, how are we serving our foster youth population? How do we have foster youth students? And as an advisor, some students started to disclose, I'm a former foster youth, and, they had questions. So I wanted just more information, and again, approaching it with cultural humility, knowing that that's not a community I am a part of. And I'm not trying to put, any privileges aside, any, ideas or, just anything that, I just try to approach it with humility and ask, those who are already working in the community and students who, are, who would be part of that population, just asking them, hey, tell me, like, how can we serve you better? How can we, what can we provide for you that we, from the services we have, how can we improve that? And going to partner programs. So Imperial Valley Regional Occupational Program, IVROP, does have a Project ACE and Project Rising Stars. So they work with the foster youth in our community from, I'm not sure what the youngest age is, but I know it's elementary age children up until high school, and after that, those who are transitioning out of the program. So I asked my boss, Dr. Villegas, do we have any resources for foster youth? He told me about Guardian Scholars. He said I can set up a meeting and we can explore that. Is that something that you think we need and you'd like to take over? Because, it's adding more work on our plate, but, it's just something that it was just like a burning question, and it was just something that I was starting to see a need, and I felt it was important. Now that I was becoming aware, I couldn't ignore it. So, I met with Brian Spencer. He is the administrative director. I'm so sorry, I'm really bad with titles, but he is in charge of Guardian Scholars at the San Diego campus. And I met with him, and also, Dr. Villegas started working directly with him and seeing like, you know, how we can bring it to Imperial Valley. And also from my colleagues, when I was a student, I started connecting with IVROP. And that's something I really wanted you to encourage you to do. And I know some of you are graduating, but I really want to highlight the significance and the importance of, you know, interacting with each other and communicating with each other, getting to know each other in the classrooms. And like, you know, if you have any questions, like talk to each other, because it was from those friendships and collaborations that I made when I was just like you, a student sitting in my class. You know, I had just added psychology as a second major. I saw there were a bunch of really cool kids in the psychology club, and I was like, you know what, I want to join the club. I want to talk to them. And we became friends, and we graduated, and we're still friends. So some of our friends, my friends, were part of IVRP, working in Project Days and Project Rising Stars. And my friend would also approach me telling me, you know, I really want to bring foster youth to campus, and I want them to see SDSU, know it's a university that's right here, that is an option for them, and to encourage them to, you know, think that that is a possibility for them, and encourage them to, strive for that, you know, strive for higher education, and you know, just inspire them. So we started talking. His name is David Blanco. He's from now he doesn't work for IVROP, he works for another program. But talking to him, I asked Dr. Villegas, can we, you know, is there something we could do? Can we have like a like campus tour? So we talked to IVRP, and eventually we did have a program that we called Pathways to Success. It was an event where we had all of our resource tables out there. We had a guest speaker from San Diego campus, one of a Guardian Scholar from over there, because we didn't have ours yet. We had Brian Spencer come down. They brought a taco cart. It was honestly, we had raffle or opportunity drawings. It was really great to see the kids on campus. We did presentations on the careers. We asked them, what are the careers they're mostly interested in? They mentioned nursing, criminal justice, psychology as the three main ones. So we're like, okay, we're gonna have presentations on those three. And we had the nursing departments, the nursing club. It was honestly a really great event, and it started from that, you know, conversation with a former classmate. And you know, from that, you know, we started building on that, and those connections really helped form the program now, because I started going to the IVRP foster youth leadership meetings. So all of the agencies in the Imperial Valley that work with foster youth go to those meetings. And to me, it was really important that SDSU had a presence there, because we had so many agencies, but we weren't there. And, you know, I know that it was just something that I felt, it was a collaboration that it was like a missing piece. And it's really great to be a part of those meetings now. And then I started getting invitations to the Imperial County Office of Education foster youth meetings. So I go to those as well, and so does Melissa. We both go together. They have events. We go and present. They had a career fair recently. We went and presented. And then, you know, now we're getting ready to start also giving or doing outreach for our next upcoming cohort of Guardian Scholars. So, you know, it's been a year of a lot of growth for the program. I mean, it was a baby and it's growing now. And honestly, you know, I wouldn't have been able to do it on my own. Like I was saying, it takes a village, and it takes connections, and it takes, you know, collaborations. So, you know, it's really important that you remember the people who you are in your classroom, who you're with in your classrooms. And, you know, you never know when, you know, once you guys graduate, you're gonna know, oh, they work over there. Like, oh, I would love to talk to them, and maybe we could collaborate and do something together. You know, it's really a source of of growth and what's also called social capital. So those connections really help. And it's not just like, oh, you know, I'm gonna need to talk to them in the future. No, you know, not in that sense, but just in that, you know, a lot of you have a lot of passions and goals and great ideas, and it's definitely doable, but you can't do it alone. You need each other to support each other and accomplish great things. So these are some of the photos. This was a photo from our first meeting. We had guest speakers that day. So we also had Elisa Ramos from the Academic Learning Center and Melissa Villarreal from our food pantry. And that is our first group of students. So right now we are at 8 Guardian Scholars. One student was actually from the San Diego campus and they had to move. So they came to the Valley, transferred to our campus, and now they're part of our program. And I just think like, wow, you know, if we didn't have it, that student would be missing out from that program and those services. And that was from the first Thanksgiving celebration dinner. We have a lot of fun, so it definitely, I can't say that I have an awful time doing my job. We went to San Diego campus for a basketball game and we got a tour of the intramural sports center and played Mario Kart together. I did not win. And here's the photo after the basketball game, which is a lot of fun. And we try to have, you know, events because what we want to do is build community, right? So those are some of the things we did together, and then also an accomplishment. So like I said, it was a year of a lot of growth and IVRP recognized us for it. And we were awarded the Outstanding Business Partner Award, which, you know, is really, really motivating. Thank you. It's really motivating because it, like I said, it's barely starting, but with all the support and you know, the support from my supervisor, the support from San Diego campus. At the time, Dr. Luke Wood, who is our vice president, he was also providing a lot of support. Yes, I've said that a couple times now. But he also provided support. And when we met him, I told him, you know, hey, Dr. Wood, you know, we're trying to do this here. He's like, yes, I'm all for it. And I felt very special when I saw him again another time and he remembered me. So yeah, it really means a lot because you know, it's like I said, it starts from conversations and collaborations and, you know, planning and including, of course, our foster youth, our former foster youth. And, you know, now we have a whole award for it. And we have, you know, hopefully it's a program that'll keep growing. And again, keeping in mind the culture of humility and just knowing that we had a lot of services or have a lot of services for students, but we just wanted to be more intentional. And, you know, I try to recognize it's not a community that I'm fully a part of. So whenever I go to those meetings or whenever I talk to students, you know, it's really trying to be as culturally humble as possible and just listening and learning about how I could support and advocate and empower our students. And it wasn't all of our students, but just recognizing the background that, you know, they come from. And I think that to be eligible for the criteria, it could have been just one day of being in the system. So just that one day, you know, already makes a difference. And just seeing how we can continue to support now that they're here. And that's pretty much it. Any other questions?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
This is your conscience. Okay, hi, my name is Esther. I couldn't be in class, but I'm right here with you guys. How do you feel about being part of something so important and helping so many students and being just available and open for anybody? You know, for example, I have some students that need help with all those resources you just shared with us, and you sent them and you're successful with them, how does that make you feel?
Well, it's always very rewarding. It's, I think being an advisor, which like I said, that was not part of like my plans. And that's something I forgot to say too. My very first job, like I said, I went to IBC. My very first job was at student affairs at IBC, and I was a student assistant or student employee through work study. And it's just really still kind of amazes me. It's like, wow, and now I work for, SDSU Pro Valley's Office of Student Affairs. So it's just really interesting to see how like I've kind of made my way here without really knowing. But as I started to learn more, especially about advising, it's just combining social work and combining advising and higher education. It is something really beautiful and rewarding, especially because just working one-on-one with you guys, with students, and learning about you, like learning more about, what your passions are, what your goals are. And then especially when there's challenges, it's like, that's when we do our job. That's what we're there for. And just seeing one of my favorite events that I love volunteering for is commencement. And that's why I first asked, like, how many of you are graduating? Because it's just so rewarding and beautiful to see you guys walk on that stage and knowing, especially being behind scenes and knowing, how there were tears sometimes, how there were, maybe you were really angry or really sad or, going through it. And just seeing you accomplish your goals, that's the most rewarding part. And it's just, it makes it, it just makes it so great to be a part of that and being an advisor and doing what I do is just seeing people happy and and help and just being a part of it, just even if it's a tiny bit. It's really rewarding and just makes me feel fulfilled.
Any last questions before we end?
Let me check the chat. Thanks. And also, just like I said, you guys are right now, you're students. Some of you are really close to being out in the field, and just always remember what's your drive, what motivates you, and don't it might if you feel like, okay, I just graduated here, there's so much more ahead, don't feel overwhelmed or don't give up. Just keep persevering and go for that master's, go for that teaching credential, and for the doctorate. There's so much ahead of you, and I don't want to overwhelm you with that thought, but on the contrary, encourage you to keep going, because like I said, to me, it made a really big difference when my advisor asked me, what are your plans after you graduate? Have you thought about a master's program? That really changed my career path because I wasn't thinking about that. So I just, here want to encourage you and ask you that question, like, what's next? And I don't want to overwhelm you, but just start thinking about that and realize that, there's a lot that you could do and a lot ahead of you. And I know you're all going to do great things. And I look forward to one day, oh, you presented in my class, now I'm doing this. I look forward to hearing that.
So one last closing question. If you could give your past self advice, this is Vivi graduating from SDSU Pure Valley, already gonna walk across the stage, kind of exploring, thinking about what to do next. If you could give yourself one piece of advice during that time, what would you have said? What would you tell yourself?
Oh, it makes me feel emotional. I think something that I would say to myself, maybe don't be so hard on myself and just be patient and just keep looking forward. I think that's something, sometimes, and that's something I see a lot with, students, is that, we can be really hard on ourselves. And maybe especially right now, if you're really stressed and you have, you know, so many finals or exams or things going on, you're also human, so there's also other things, you know, that, you know, are also going on in your lives. But, you know, just really be kind to yourself and be patient with yourself and love yourself. And, you know, that'll really help you, because at the end of the day, you know, you're doing it for yourself. And if you're hard on yourself, you know, you're only, you know, fighting against yourself and making it harder for you. And it's easier said than done, but, you know, little self-love goes a long way.
Right, and with this advice, we close our guest lecture speaker series for the spring 2024 semester. So one last round of applause.